Good morning. Oh man, you gotta do that again. Today is, about giving money away, so you gotta do that again. Good morning. There you go. All right.
Welcome to the uAspire and GBREB Foundation Scholarship Leadership Breakfast. I am Ronita De Vega, and this is Swan Ho, and we're this year's MCs. It wasn't until 2015 that my parents and I decided that it would be better for me to come to the U.S. to finish high school and go to college. I graduated from the Burke High School in 2017, and I just finished my second semester at Providence College as a bio major on the pre-med track. Thank you. That being said, I like to thank the uAspire and GBREB for making my first year of college possible, and I'm looking forward to starting my second year in the fall.
Woo! All right, thank you, Ronitia. My turn. I was not born in the U.S., so I actually came to the U.S. when I was 10 years old from Vietnam. And 5 years ago, I graduated from Boston Land Academy with my mom only making about $20,000 a year when I got accepted into Northeastern. So, my college education would not have been possible without a scholarship. And so, just last month, I graduated Northeastern with a Bachelor in Mechanical Engineering. All because I thought Iron Man was cool. Because, my passion really lies in education, because I think that's really, really important. The difference between a successful person and who's not is education. And so I founded a company called ScholarJet to help young people like me to realize their higher ed dreams through action-based scholarships. So, in addition to celebrating 30 incredible young people ready to embark on their college careers, we're also here today to honor two inspirational leaders in the greater Boston community. One is Arthur Wynn, the founder of the Wynn's Companies, and he's not here yet, but the Honorable Martin J. Walsh, the mayor of the city of Boston. We're also very excited to be honoring Mayor Walsh with uAspire First One Award, presented to influential first-generation college graduates whose story serves as example of transformative power of higher education.
We are also excited to be honoring Arthur Wynn with the Greater Boston Real Estate Board Foundation's Neighborhood Visionary Award for his unwavering commitment to qualify affordable housing. But most importantly, we're here to celebrate the next generation of leaders, the 2018 Scholarship Fund recipients. To each of the companies represented in the room today, thank you for your generous support and for enabling students like myself and Tuan to pursue the dream of a college education.
All right, are we ready? It's time now to meet this year's class. Could everyone please rise and let's give a round of applause to the 2018 Greater Boston Real Estate Board Scholarship Funds recipients. I don't know where they are, but keep looking.
Amin Abdi, Boston International High School.
Daniel Camposano, Boston Green Academy.
Isadora D. Alpino, Malden High School.
Rayfani Doman, The English High School.
Kansali Etine, Boston Green Academy.
Kelsey Ferran, Milton High School.
Osin Gamiri, Prospect Hill Charter Academy.
Savannah Hart, Revere High School.
Tina Jagamohan.
Isaac Hunain, Malden High School.
Ida Lafta.
Jamisha James, Tech Boston Academy.
Isabella Marici, Malden High.
Selena Lee, the Windsor School.
Rashima Henry.
Paula Martinez, City on a Hill.
Long Hui Nguyen.
Zoranyeli Para, City on a Hill.
Lynette Peralta, City on the Hill, Circuit Street.
Amber Reese, Cats Academy, Boston.
Maisha Robitou, English High.
Zaria Stringer Silva, Malden High School.
And Sandra Sylvain, Tech Boston Academy.
Temezgen Tige, Malden High School.
Let's give another round of applause to this year's impressive class. Scholarship fund recipients, please be seated. No, I'm just checking. I'm just going to until they're seated. Thank you to all of our event sponsors for your generous support of the GBREB Foundation Scholarship Fund. Particular thanks goes out to our events presenting sponsor, Win Companies, as well as our leading sponsors, Key Construction and the Copley Group.
All right. We also want to thank companies that have been supporting us since the very beginning of the initiative in 2015 as our founding sponsors. Here we go. A.W. Perry, Bank of America Merrill Lynch, Beacon Communities, Charles Gate Realty, Delbrook JKS, Eastern Bank, Alkis Manfredi Architects, Equity Residential, First Resource Companies, Heath Construction, Dan Lyons, NEI Construction, Peabody Properties, Perry Brokerage Associates, Related Beal, Reimer and Bronstein, Rockport Mortgage Corporation, Shivo, Crumbs, O'Connor, and Jackowitz, the architectural team, the Boston Landing Company Management, the Shockett Companies, Westling Architects, and finally, Win Companies.
And lastly, a huge thank you to the companies who are taking on GBREB Scholarship Fund interns for the summer of 2018.
All right. It's time now to learn more about the Greater Boston Real Estate Board Scholarship Fund and uAspire. Please join me in welcoming Greg Vassell, the CEO of the Greater Boston Real Estate Board, whose son, Mike, is actually a pitcher at BC High and has committed to the University of Virginia. And also, Gabby King Morse, the executive director of uAspire, Massachusetts, who wrote and directed a musical with her family called The Goldilocks, and her daughter, Zadie, who is in the audience this morning. She's like sits over there somewhere. All right, there she is. We have some of the youngest talents here, you know. She is the one who choreographed the musical. So please welcome.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for attending this event. And I'd also like to thank our MCs this morning, who are two of our past scholarship recipients. We also have a number of past GBREB Scholarship recipients in the room. I'd like to also ask them to stand at this time, if you could, so we can recognize you and give you a shout out. The founders of the Greater Boston Real Estate Board would be so proud to see this event. They founded our organization with the intent of giving back to the community, and for our 5 divisions of the board, the Building Owners and Managers Association, the Rental Housing Association, the Commercial Brokers Association, the Real Estate Finance Association, and the Greater Boston Association of Realtors, to be able to still give back to this Greater Boston community through providing education for kids would be a great accomplishment. And I'd also be remiss if I didn't recognize all of you who make it possible to have this event and to give these kids a chance, an array of hope to change their lives. I'd like to also thank our presenting sponsor, the Wynn Companies, who've been with us for a number of years. And I'd also like to thank our incredible committee. Our fundraising committee has been on the phone through horrible weather conditions, through thick and thin, through the dark days of March this year to raise money for these kids. And so I'd like to take a second and just give them a round of applause to help making this all possible. This is a special year for us because with our partner uAspire, we were able to celebrate a 4-year, $1 million commitment to these students. And the Greater Boston Real Estate Board and uAspire initiative really has three components. The first is the increased support of the scholarship fund to enable more students to receive direct scholarship assistance. So basically, number 1 is more money for tuition. Number 2 is, and sometimes people forget this, providing the financial aid, assistance, counseling that is so vital for these kids to make the right decision and to realize what's the best deal for them and what college is providing them the best opportunity. So that expert financial advice, which is provided to over 8,000 kids by uAspire and all the different schools in the Greater Boston area that they work in, is vital to this program's success. And of course, number 3 is support from the Boston PIC. The PIC works with us to help these kids find internships that can expose them to real-life job experience. So real money, financial aid advising, and job experience is really important. And over the last 4 years, we've been able to provide over 100 kids 2-year scholarships through this program and over 50 internships. This year alone, we've got 21 that we're working on at the moment. And it's incredible because we're preparing these talented young kids to go out and make a difference in the workforce. Hopefully someday, maybe working for some of the companies that are in the room. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Gabby King-Morse, who is the Massachusetts Executive Director of uAspire, to talk a little bit about some of the services that they provide. Gabby?
Thank you. Ooh, I got to get to the right spot here. So thanks to all of you. Thank you to Greg and the Greater Boston Real Estate Board. This has been a transformative partnership for uAspire and for our students. Partnering with uAspire really has been able, with the Greater Boston Real Estate Board, has been able to leverage the incredible generosity of your entire industry. And we are incredibly thankful for that. And all the students who are here, the students that have received scholarships in the past, really helping them to realize their dream. They did the hard work, they did their schoolwork, they went every day, they did their extracurricular activities, they worked at their parents' company, they took care of their younger siblings, they did whatever they could do, but they always still is a gap. So it really goes a long way. I also want to recognize that we have uAspire's national CEO, Bob Giannino, with us today. So if you get a chance to talk with him, I'm really glad to have him here this morning. So, I think we all know that college is expensive and the path can be daunting. It can be confusing, a lot of twists and turns. And there's so much lack of clarity, particularly around affordability. So, one of the examples we all see that kind of stares us in the face is the growing student debt crisis, which every year, I can't believe I have to say more and more. I thought when it went to 1.2, 1.3 trillion. Well, this year it's $1.5 trillion in student debt, far surpassing credit card debt, and it just keeps going up. At uAspire, we are singularly focused on supporting students to have an affordable path to and through college, and we focus in particular on the students that need us most, first generation, so the first generation to go to college in their family, as well as low-income students. We place trained college affordability advisors in high schools and work so they can work one-on-one with students. And they're embedded in the high school just along with the guidance department. So they're really a part of the school community. And can the advisors just raise their hand really quick? There's a whole bunch in the room over there. And if you really want to get an expert vision on all of our work, they are the ones. Thank you all for being here this morning. We serve in 6 cities in Massachusetts currently: Boston, Cambridge, Somerville, Malden, Fall River, and Lawrence. And our advisors support students to navigate the financial aid process, as Greg was talking about, and also, really important, understanding their financial choice. For all of you in real estate, it's not just, I want a building, I found it, I bought it. There's a lot of stuff to think about when you're making a purchase of that size. Just with college, usually maybe the second most expensive thing that a young person's going to buy in their entire lives. And the information is not regulated, it's confusing, and so we are there with them to make sure that they make an informed financial decision about where they're going to go to college. uAspire students, and I hope you get to meet some of them if you haven't already. They're bright, they're driven, they want that post-secondary degree. They know that college opens doors, they want to walk through every single one of them, but we know that even if they do everything right, as I said before, there's usually, they need just a little bit more, something financial, so they can just go do more hard work and earn their college degree. So we serve 8,000 students across Massachusetts, as Greg said, but another thing to note is that 77% of those students are first in their family to graduate from college, or they will be, right? You all will be. So just very quickly, if you either will be the first generation in your family to graduate from college, or you are in the first generation and you already have your college degree, can you just raise your hand? So adults, students alike, can you just raise your hand, raise it up high? I know we got more, even just students alone. You raise them up. All right, well, I just want to basically acknowledge for all of those people their tenacity, and also for being here today to pay it forward. As Tuan said, this is a fundraiser. This is to support the next generation to really go and do what you did, go get that degree. And so thank you so much for being here. So because of the partnerships like the one that uAspire has with GBREB, we've been able to pair college affordability advising with scholarship. And we have now, Mayor Walsh is here, so that's wonderful. Thank you for being here. And as he has said himself, it's so necessary to Boston students that we have scholarships, when increasingly federal and state aid is not enough to pay for even our public colleges and universities. In some instances, just a few $100s really makes the difference between a student being able to stay in school or needing to stop out. Because of this partnership, uAspire is supporting more young people to go to college and graduate at higher rates than ever before. We're working to remove the barrier of cost, and through the Greater Boston Real Estate Internship Program, we're exposing more people to careers in the real estate industry. And I was talking to Mahmoud, and we were talking about, it's time we got to go find those ones who were our first graduates a number of years ago and see if we can actually get them into the industry now. So that will be an interesting piece of our journey. So thank you to all of you. Thank you to the first ones in this room, to every member of the Greater Boston Real Estate Board, forward. Thank you for being trendsetters, innovators, and for being an example of how an entire industry can step up and really support their community. Thank you. I'll give you guys a round of applause. And so now I'd like to turn it over to our breakfast co-chairs. I'm not sure where they are, but they're going to be coming up. Debbie Backus and Ann Moy, and they're going to introduce our first award this morning. Oh, here they come. Wonderful.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Deborah Backus. I am one of the founders of the Castle Square Tenants Organization, served on the board for 8 years as co-president, and I'm now the executive director of the Castle Square Tenants Organization. I also have Ann Moy, who is the president and founder of the Castle Square Tenants Organization. For some of you, I'm here to present to Arthur Wind. Arthur Wind bio is in the booklet that's on everybody's table, so I'm going to skip that, and I'm going to go right to the Neighborhood Visionary Award that Arthur is to receive tonight. I think this award is fitting for Arthur Wind. We became co-partners with Arthur Wind in 1990 to own Castle Square Apartments, and he has been a mentor to me and the residents of Castle Square. Arthur Wind is about neighborhood. When Arthur became owner of Castle Square Apartments, Arthur would come to the South End at night and have dinner. At 12 o'clock midnight, Arthur is walking Castle Square just to check the property and make sure everything's okay. And if he saw a piece of paper on the ground, he would call the management office in the morning and say, "This paper's on the ground. Somebody needs to get out there and pick that up." Throughout the years, Arthur Wind has supported our neighborhood tenfold. We've been very blessed and fortunate to have him as a partner. And it's not about the business of Castle Square. Arthur is also our friend and a friend of the residents. He attends numerous events that we host throughout the years, such as National Night Out, Black History, Chinese New Year. He's always been there for us. And we're proud today to stand here for Arthur to receive the Visionary Award for Neighborhood, because Arthur Wind is neighborhood and his company is neighborhood. He also sent his kids down to Castle Square to work, to volunteer. Gilbert was painting apartments when he was 15. Jenny was donating her time in our office. So we've been around this family for a very long time. And our heart goes out to them. So I'm going to turn this over to Ann Moy, because we only have 2 minutes.
Actually, it's only 1 minute. Less than 1 minute. I just want to echo what Debbie said. Arthur's been a great friend. It's like a father to us, actually. We've been working together for 30 years. We just have a big celebration last month. So Arthur is a very special person that we have worked with over 30 years, and his family too. And also, he introduced us to the whole Wind team. So with Larry and Gilbert, with John and everybody, Keith. So we are very blessed to have that. And also, we are very honored to be one of the co-chair with the GBREB, and you guys are doing a marvelous job. with all the scholarship because I'm an educator myself for the Boston Public Schools. So Mr. Walsh, Mayor Walsh would like to hear that. So I've been, went through the whole system, Boston Public School myself, and I went back to my community to work as an educator, second grader. So I know the the recipients who won the scholarship, you are very lucky, and just to work hard and do your best and get back to your community too. So we want to congratulate them and thank you for the GBREB to be working with you. We didn't do much, but we are very honored to work with all of you. And thank you, Arthur, to give us always give us the opportunity to work with him and to shine. And I just want to add a little something with one of the Chinese New Year Black History celebration. Arthur surprised us with I don't know, about 100 pans of food for the event. So Arthur is a very kind-hearted person. He's not just a developer. He really is a neighborhood, family-oriented, and cares about people that lives in the community. We just want to thank Arthur, and we love him so much. So we just want to say thank you, Arthur.
Arthur, we'd like you to come to the stage for the award. Sir?
That's it?
Yep.
Come on. I lost a speech about 20 minutes ago, and Gilbert can speak extemporaneously, but not his father. And Jen said, leave the speech alone because you'll do a better job if you just tell the story. So I'll probably end up telling the story. I checked with Marty that I have a quote at the end that it's not a good idea to step on the mayor. So I asked the mayor if he was going to use the quote. It's one of Marty's quotes. At the end, I'll have to read that. Well, I guess we'll put the speech aside. I was one of the kids who sit here today, hopefully absorbing some wisdom, because I grew up that way. Privileged and that I was in the Brookline school system, lived in Coolidge Corner. My father died when I was 16. We lived in a two-family house, and my mother, of course, did not know how we would pay the rent. In those days, you could go to UMass and Amherst for a lot less money than you can today. I won't tell you how much it cost because it would make me less of a hero. But and I remember working with my fraternity that I knew someone in Boston who rented tuxedos. And there were proms in those days. This was quite a different time. Flowers were given out, pictures were taken, and so we bought one of those cameras that gives you an immediate picture and bought little frames for them. So I became a rich guy very quickly, working my way through school. But the problem arose for me when for some reason, as a C student, HPS accepted me and said, stay at school for a year. And show us that you can get more than a C. And I went to BC at night and showed them that I could get more than C grades. And then spent most of my time at the business school figuring out how they would reach 10% attrition without me being one of the people who was attrited, if that's the word. We started our company, obviously. The thing about the business school was, and apropos of what this breakfast is, that a bunch of truly rich guys who graduated put together a pool of money, and that they lent that money to kids like me who could not afford to go to grad school. So I went through on loans, 0% loans, and so very much like today, what Greater Boston Real Estate Board, I want to thank the Greater Boston Real Estate Board for this honor. But before I forget, I'm so proud, I actually believe them, listening to Ann and Debbie. I love them, and they know I love them, and they love me, which is, don't understand that. So anyway, Jen, how am I doing? Okay. All right. So as things turned out, you can actually go through school, probably not because of the prices today, work your way through, but you'll probably end up with a loan. You can actually start a company with no money, and all you have to do is put together a team headed by a Larry Curtis and a Bill Wallinger, and have a Mr. Inside like Michael Putziker, who's always had my back. All you have to do is find, fortunately, people like that, and you can probably take that loan and repay it in America today. It's a little more difficult, but I think you can do it. Right, John? You keep nodding at me. Is that right? That's right. That's John Keefe, by the way, who was, I think Debbie said, part of our company, which he isn't, but he might as well be. Does 100% of our building, of buildings that are 6 stories or less, I guess, 100% of them. Never read a contract, so you need people on the outside like John. I missed a whole lot of stuff, but I've got to read one thing, and that's the quote I want to end with. And it says this: I will end with advice from our mayor, Marty Walsh, from his speech to the graduates of Urban College in 2015. And Marty said this: continue to dream and believe in yourself. You should keep looking forward. Everyone gets a chance, and that means you. I was hoping all the kids would be sitting together so I could just point at them, but I guess everyone is distributed. Everyone's happy. Fortunately, has someone at their table. Building a future not only helps you, but helps everyone around you. And I guess Marty's saying makes a better city, state, and country. Thank you, Debbie and Ann, for all the kind things you said. Thank you to the Greater Boston Real Estate Board. I appreciate this honor more than I can ever say. It speaks to the very values that we stand for. Thank you.
Arthur, I think you'll enjoy this award. It's a little bit different from probably ones that you're used to.
Congratulations, Mr. Wynn. There you go. One more round.
We are now excited to welcome Isabelle, a 2018 GBREB Scholarship winner, to the stage.
Good morning. My name is Isabelle Marashi, and I recently graduated from Malden High School. I would like to begin by thanking the GBREB Foundation for selecting me as one of the students for this scholarship. I'm extremely honored to be here. I'm so grateful that this scholarship is contributing financially to me beginning my path as a first generation in my family to attend college. Growing up, my mother would always say, "My dream is to become a nurse." I was 7 years old, filled with innocence, and I wondered why. Why, if that was her dream, she didn't just simply go to adult school, get an adult degree, and catch her dream by the horn. I mean, all of my friends' parents had gone to school. Why not my mom? What my young and naive mind had not comprehended was that my mother, an immigrant, had come from Brazil to the United States as a teenager with only a high school diploma and yet was already regarded successful in my family. And she was, considering that before her, her mother and my grandmother only attended elementary school. Evidently, my family did not prioritize further education. My mother arrived in the United States and followed suit, not because she didn't yearn for more than a high school diploma, more than just a baseline, but because her focus was on surviving. So she began to work as a house cleaner. For 10 years, she ignored her burning passion for nursing and instead focused on planting that love for education into her children. She sacrificed her dreams to ensure that we didn't miss our opportunities for more education, more knowledge, and more opportunities. As a woman who had grown up with a family that did not prioritize education, my mother had long ago decided that she would change that. In 2012, my mother finally decided to listen to the advice she gave her children: reach for the highest. She began to attend college at Bunker Hill Community College, majoring in nursing, despite having 2 other full-time jobs, being a mother and being a house cleaner. She would often ask me to help with her biology homework or to revise her essays. I never minded, but there were moments where she watched me intently while I edited her work or explained a concept to her. "Belly," she would say softly, "I wish I was as smart as you. You are going to go far in life." I always wondered how she, having never received these uplifting and encouraging words, practiced it so much with us. If not for her and her actions, the way she led by example, the way she never let me give up, I wouldn't be where I am today, a high school graduate. Not only that, but this 2018 fall, I will be attending Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut as a biochemistry major on a pre-med track. Thank you. With the inspiration of my mother and my acceptance letter in hand, everything was in place, yet one major question remained: how will I pay the bill? As we know, the price tag of attending a private university is not small. So this is where uAspire comes in. In the beginning of my senior year, I met Jenny Smith, a uAspire College Affordability Advisor at Malden High School to help us find the affordable paths to realize our dream of a college education. Jenny is Wonder Woman, literally. Not only working with me, but also with hundreds of students at Malden High School. All of this with only being at my school 2 days a week. Jenny presented in one of my classes, and I knew that she had to become my next best friend, and she answered many of my questions. How do I fill out these complex financial aid forms? Coming from a divorced family, how do I get my father's income information that needs to be provided? What if my college doesn't give me enough money? These may seem like simple questions, but they're not. Thank God for Jenny. She helped me get everything submitted accurately and on time. Once I received the award letter from Sacred Heart telling me how much aid they were providing, she helped me understand the complexity of the letter. I found that I was still short. And that's where the GBREB Scholarship comes in. Without the scholarship, college would not be possible. Jenny, if you could stand, please, and give a little hello. Don't cry, don't cry. Thank you for being by my side through this process. Mom and my brother Fabio, if you guys could stand. Thank you. And to my fellow scholarship winners, congratulations. And a special shout out to my Malden High winners in the room. And to everyone in this room who funded this scholarship, thank you for making this possible. I'm glad to be here with you today, and even more excited about walking onto campus at Sacred Heart this upcoming September. Thank you.
Is this on? Thank you so much, Isabella. Can we get one more round of applause for her?
Morning, everyone. I'm Bill McLaughlin, and if you look at your program, you'll see that I am here to invite you to participate. But first, I'd like to congratulate Isabella and thank her for sharing her story. They asked me to explain why I became involved in uAspire, and that is the reason why I became involved. GBREB has been active with uAspire now for 4 years. We thought it was a fantastic fit between our organization and uAspire's not-for-profit goal of helping young kids get into college and get through college. And for me personally, it is the embodiment of hope and optimism for the future. So I want to give a round of applause to all the kids today. You ask why I'm here to ask for money today. Well, apparently I missed a conference call in which I was assigned the task. Because this may be my least favorite activity, to ask others to contribute. But somehow we're going to muscle through it together, and I would really appreciate if everyone in the room would help me with this, make it as easy on me as possible. Take pity on me. Today is my birthday. Otherwise, well, how could I get away wearing this shirt, right? Anyway, it's that time in the program that we've all been waiting for, and I want to see if we can't help participate in helping kids like those you've seen today for this year and beyond. As you heard earlier, this marks our 4th year of $1 million commitment, $1 million commitment from the Greater Boston Real Estate Board to help Greater Boston students. And with your help right now, I think we'll be able to reach that goal. While the majority of the money we raise is raised in advance by the generous sponsors who purchased the tables and enjoyed some fantastic breakfast, we'd love to invite you to personally participate and help us get over the top. At your place settings, you will see, I have props, this envelope. You will also see some fancy Weston pens. Actually, they're not as fancy as they used to be, but they're all here on the tables. And a blue bag. If you could take a moment to fill out a pledge and place it in the blue bag, every dollar would help. To start us off, I'd like to pledge on behalf of my wife Linda and I $5,000 towards this goal. A gift of $5,000 provides scholarship for a young person for 2 years. A gift of $2,500 will provide a year-long affordability advising for 3 separate students, such as Jenny has provided earlier to Isabelle. A gift of $1,000 or more provides half a scholarship for 1 young person. And we know that any gift of $1,000 or more will be recognized in the GBREB uAspire Career to College Leadership Supporter list. So whether you can give at these levels or at $500, $250, or even a $20 bill out of your pocket, you know that every dollar will make a meaningful difference in the lives of these young people, striving to get to college, striving to get through college and out the other side. So I'm going to urge you to continue. I'm looking, no one's writing. One guy did. I saw at my table. Somebody put some money in. Urge you to reach a little bit deeper, fill out those envelopes, and deposit them into the blue bag at every table. As an added incentive, because I don't see people moving quite as quickly as I'd hoped, anyone who returns a pledge envelope today will be eligible to receive a pair of Celtics or Bruins tickets next year, your choice, which game, on a mutually acceptable date, and sit in the cross boardroom at the TD Garden. I want to thank Rick Henkin for providing those tickets today. Thank you, Rick. So we'll pull that, at the end of the day today, we'll pull that winner. All you have to do is put your pledge into the bag, and I would appreciate if you did that now. Otherwise, there's going to be a long, awkward silence. See? All right, so let's take a few minutes and begin that. And when you're done, just put it in the blue bag as I asked. Thank you. You can clap. That's all right. All right. Thanks, everybody, for that. I appreciate it, and I know that the recipients today truly appreciate your generosity. Before we celebrate our last honoree, I want to make sure that we recognize all the current and past committee chairs, as well as the honorees who are present today in the room. As Greg said earlier, because of your participation in this initiative, we've been able to offer 105 two-year scholarships to Greater Boston students over the last 4 years, 105 scholarships. When I call your name as a past recipient or chair, please come to the stage and stand with us. Our 2015 committee chair, Mahmoud Mahili. And who could forget our 2016 chair, Larry Curtis from the Wind Companies. I was chair last year with my good friend Gordon Pulsifer, who is out of the country right now, but would have actually had this assignment had he been here. This year's chairs, Debbie and Ann, please come up. And our honorees, Robert Beal from 2015. I saw Robert earlier. Jack Spur from A.W. Perry. Crystal Cornegay from Mass Housing. Is Crystal here? And of course, this year's honoree, Mr. Arthur Wynn. I'd like to thank you all personally for your contributions in helping this. Nikki, we're going to ask them to stay. Okay, you guys get to stay for a little bit. As you heard today, 77% of our scholarship recipients are first-generation college students. For uAspire, for years, we've honored business and community leaders who have been first in their families to graduate college. These leaders have achieved tremendous success, and their stories illustrate the transformative power of higher education and the critical need that it be affordable to all such students. We are proud today to honor Boston's Mayor, the Honorable Martin J. Walsh, with our first One Award. Marty was born to Irish immigrants and was the first in his family to receive a bachelor's degree when he graduated from BC. As mayor, he's focused on making sure the city's success is shared by all Bostonians. He brought thousands of jobs to Boston, has overseen the successful move, as an example, of GE's headquarters here to the Boston waterfront. The Walsh administration has addressed a tremendous need for housing in the city with an ambitious plan, setting records for new affordable, middle-class, and market-rate homes built in the city, not just downtown, but in every neighborhood. In addition, Mayor Walsh has built a new state-of-the-art homeless shelter. It's gotten the city on the path to effectively ending chronic homelessness, which is a scourge in our city. Mayor Walsh has made it his mission to make sure every Bostonian can live, work, and raise their kids in the story, and you may not in the city. And you may not know that he may be the #1 sports fan in the city of Boston, the Patriots and the Red Sox, Celtics and Bruins. So I'd like to, I'm proud to honor the mayor with our Distinguished First One Award and invite him up.
Well, thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Bill, for that nice introduction, and thank to all the past honorees here. If you look at them all, just the incredible work that they've all done in our city. Let me get the thank yous out of the way. Greg Vassell, thank you, Greg, for being a friend. I've known Greg for a long time. When I was a state rep at the State House, you know, I worked with Greg and Scotty Delaney. I think Scott's probably here. Senator Jack Hart, I want to thank Senator Jack Hart, too. We work very closely together. All the people at uAspire, Gabby, and everyone here, congratulations. This is an incredible day here. We're going to talk a little more about that in a minute. Arthur Wynn did a nice job. He asked me, are you going to say this quote? I'm like, no. He goes, I'm using it. I'm like, go ahead. What he said to me over there, he said, I was going to say it was my quote. I'm like, you should have. But I want to thank Arthur. The Castle Square residents, Debbie and Ann and everyone at Castle Square. They're amazing people at Castle Square. Thank you for what you do. Isabella, you were amazing up here, and your mother should be proud of you. And Mom, good thing going back to college. I got my degree. I was about 40-something years old when I got my college degree, so it's never too late, so you keep banging away at that. And all the students here, recipients, both present and past, congratulations. Congratulations to all of you for getting recognized here today. It's an honor to accept this award. My voice has gone a little bit because for the last 4 days, last 5 days actually, we've had mayors from all across America in Boston, and we've been able to showcase the city. And I'll tell you, every single one of them to a person was talking about our city. They were talking about our city as they didn't realize our city was so diverse. They didn't realize our city had so many immigrants. They didn't realize our city had so much going for it. Every panel that we talked about, whether it was community policing, they were blown away by the work Commissioner Bill Evans is doing, or whether it was some of the other things that we're doing. Bob Beal's starting trouble up here, or some of the other things that were going on. And I say that because it's not because of the work I did. It's because of a lot of the partnerships in this room today. It's because of a lot of the work that all of you do that we're able to show off our city in such a proud way. Being here today is important. What we need to do, I think about this all the time, as the mayor and as a state rep, and before that, we figure out how do we help young people? And we need to create pathways to those young people. As you leave here today and you look right, left, front, back, there's a crane. And under that crane, there's a new building being built. And that building that's being built is for a company that's moving here, or for housing to employ the people that are coming to our city. We're not building buildings in Boston that aren't being filled. They're being filled. We're bringing companies from all over the world to Boston, and people want to be part of this city here in America. And it's important for us as we continue to do that we continue to make investments in education. Those investments in education, and Bill was up here asking for money, and I thank you for that, because those investments in education come from the city, Those investments from education come from the state. Those investments in education come from the private sector. And those investments, whether it's supporting a charter school or supporting a college or supporting someplace, I want to thank you for doing that. I want to thank you for the investments you make. It's important for us in Boston, as we continue to think about our economy, how do we make a difference? This last weekend, we had 8 shootings in Boston. No one died, which is a bonus, I guess you can say. But we had 8 shootings in Boston, and if I go back and sit down and talk to the commissioner about the 8 people that got shot and the person that did the shooting, I'd be willing, or the people that did the shooting, I'd be willing to bet that the story is pretty similar. They grew up in a neighborhood that they didn't have many opportunities. I would assume that the story goes they were all good kids when they were little. Somewhere along the road, they lost interest in school because they didn't have a support network behind them. And they quit school. And they went in the street, and obviously if you don't have an education and you don't have a strong family background, and for me, you don't have an uncle that runs the laborers union that get me a job anytime, you don't have that opportunity. And I think it's so important that we continue to create these opportunities, because the way we stop those shootings from happening is by helping with social programs and all trauma counseling, all the stuff we're doing today. But the ultimate way to end all that is to get these young people before they get into trouble. Get them before they drop out of school. Strong quality pre-kindergarten program. Strong quality summer job programs, earning a college degree. Many of you are part of our summer job program, where we're employing about 11,000 young people in the city of Boston. That's how we make a difference. In the last 4 years, the City of Boston Scholarship Fund, this is the one the city has provided over $1 million to Boston residents who are going to 2 or 4-year colleges. That's pretty good. $1 million is a good way. It's a good amount of money. But we know $1 million doesn't go that far. You know yourself, many of you in this room, when you're doing developments, you're spending more than $1 million in your plans, in the pre-construction stuff before the project even goes. That $1 million is gone. And you're like, where did that go? Well, I don't know. We have to pay it because you need to get the permits done on time. So what happens to us, our partner in uAspire has been key to this success. It's been such an important organization. They've helped us get the word out, and they've helped us reach students with the greatest needs, young people that need that opportunity. We've received over 400 applications this year alone. And we want to make sure that we get to the point in the city that every kid, any kid that wants to go to college can go to college and have the opportunity to go. In 2015, at this very breakfast, I challenged the board back then to start your own scholarship fund. And the board stepped up in a big way. Over the last 4 years, you've raised almost $1 million. I think Bill's trying to get the last few bucks out of you to get the $1 million. So when you leave here today, please take those cards and think about opportunities. If you want to make an impact, people say, I want to help the city, I want to do something, I want to do something great, I want to change the world. And some people think that they have to start a nonprofit and they have to be out in the streets, walk in the streets. You don't have to do that. The way you want to change the world is just simply put a number on that envelope, throw it in. That makes a huge difference. You might not get the accolades for that as a personally, but I can tell you, when you put your head in the pillow at night, you see these young people that are here today and realizing how important it is, the change in their life that you're doing. I also want to thank uAspire for college advising, as you heard today, helping us with the internship program. And today I'm excited because I've been talking to Greg and the board, and the Greater Boston Real Estate Board is committed to raise another $1 million over the next 3 years to provide scholarships, uAspire college advising, and paid internships. And I want to thank the board. I want to thank the past honorees for this. This is a big deal. I am blessed. As Bill said, I'm the son of immigrants. My mother and father came from Ireland. My father came in the 50s. My mother came in the late 50s. My father didn't have anything. He came, went to work, construction worker. He worked in many of the buildings in the city, many of your buildings that you're building and own. My father worked on them. He was a laborer. My mother came. She was a homemaker. And then when she had us, me and my brother, she stayed home for a bunch of years. And then when my brother got to 8th grade, I think it was, she went back working. She worked at the Union Club, making beds and cleaning the place to make a few bucks. My story is not unique to a lot of people's story in this room. Arthur Wynn told you his story. His story is no different than my story, except he took the smarter route and went to HBS and made a lot of money. Other than that, we were the same. I just want to say thank you for being here. I'm honored to receive this recognition. This isn't about me. Anyone in this room, all of us in this room actually should have gotten this recognition because you do the work. I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for your involvement. I want to thank you for your donations today. I want to thank you for, as I look around the room, many of you donate to a lot of different organizations in the city of Boston, and they all make an impact, and I can't pick one that's more important than the other. But for this morning, for today, for this very moment in time, this is the most important, to make sure that we give our young people an opportunity to be able to stand at a podium someday and maybe be Mayor of Boston, or stand at a podium someday and maybe run one of the largest real estate companies in the country. Thank you very much.
All 2018 GBREB recipients, can you guys please go to the stage? We're going to get a quick picture before we close out this event. Thank you. Thanks.
Congratulations. Thank you. I think you guys are going to join right now. Nice job. They're all going to be talking. Congratulations. Nice. How are you? What are you going to show? How are you? What are you going to do? You met Boston. Love it. How are you? What are you going to show? Can I shake his hand? Can I shake his hand first? Manual awesome.
We want to thank everyone for coming today. We're going to do some photos up here, but you are free to mingle and walk around the plane. So thanks so much. We hope to see you next year.